Hey, there's no hot water in my apartment. Yay! I'm freezing to death again. No more showers tonight. What's up? It's a culture detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to be doing a second review of the day, and that is an album review of the new Ὁπλίτης album, Paramainomeni. Hailing from Ningbo, China, cosplaying as an ancient Greek, this is the black metal, death metal, one-man band Hoplites or Ȯπλίτης, aka Liu Jianyang. When I first saw the album title and the artist name, and I believe a lot of people probably think the same thing, we all think they're Greek because it's in Greek, but he's actually a Chinese guy pretending to be Greek. Ingenious, am I right? Yeah, so not too long ago I reviewed Pseudomeni and Trothysomeni, which are two albums he released last year. And these two albums are his first two studio albums. And both these albums are pretty good for what they are, but they don't really reach the potential I wish he can reach. I know he has more in store for him, but I feel like he hasn't really reached that potential. In early 2024, he released another album called Anti-Timodomeni, and no one knew it came out. I didn't know it came out. It just sort of existed, and nobody really knew. And then this came out, Paramainomeni, and it just skyrocketed to number one on radio music right now, which is very exciting. Now, what's interesting about Paramainomeni is that it seems like a bolder and more ambitious project. The song lengths are way longer than the previous tracks he would produce. The tracks here are mostly 10 minutes long. So, right off the bat, it's already getting interesting. But on top of that, we have some crazy instrumental additions on this album that we have never heard before on his previous projects. And chef's kiss. It's delicious. So the album starts off with I'm not Greek. I don't speak Greek or ancient Greek, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering any of this. The first track is Minin Aide Dea Paramainomeni Emo, or Stay, O God, Stay With Me. And it starts off in a very mystical way with off-kiltered plucked lutes. I originally typed guitar on my script, but guitar isn't the right word. It's a string instrument, and it's ancient, and it's a lute. And then we have these hand drums, and then we have these ancient Greek mantras. It's very stiff, very awkward, kind of strange. Suddenly, he smashes us into this aggressive, crazy, wild metal train. Saxophones going insane, everything's going haywire, and then we have the constantly changing rhythms. It's a freaking blast. And the guitar riff on this thing, bum 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 bum, it freaking slaps. It's so aggressive, it's amazing. And then we have the saxophones and the horns at the end, and it borders on jazz fusion. It's absolutely wild. Then the second track is called Paradigmatisomeni Moseki, or I guess it means exemplified music. Thank you, Google Translate, even though you're probably not accurate. The saxophones take a spotlight here on this track. They're so nocturnal and smooth and dizzying on top of these very thick waves of distorted guitars. It's honestly beautiful. And around the 3.5 minute mark of the track, the way the saxophones sort of seep into the track, it sounds like I'm watching a gothic sci-fi opera. And then at the end it speeds up and it goes absolutely insane. Third track, Iton Lysimaton Angelos, or the Angel of Rage. The guitars on this track are so crushed and distorted, they sound like clunky machines glitching out. They sound like firearms. They're like guns. They're shooting fire. It's insane. And then halfway into the track, we get these ancient Greek call and response mantras on the left channel, on the right channel, and it sort of like goes around. It's so creative. And then at the end it fades out. Everything just fades out and turns into this quiet lute solo. Fourth track is titled Si Mainomenai Dioniso Eleftherio. And the next track is pretty much titled exactly the same, except for the letter I. This is something that I've seen Ὁπλίτης do in his previous projects, where we have double tracks. These two tracks have the same title, aside from a very, very small difference. So I would probably be right to assume that these two tracks are like sister tracks. And yeah, it's just more of the same, but it's still goddamn amazing. The former of the two is the drony, has a drony opening intro, and then we have some of the most aggressive guitar playing on the entire album, and that plunders into a bed of detuned pianos halfway through the track. Then Si Mainomenai Dioniso Eleftherio is a follow-up to the previous track. These guitar riffs effortlessly ride on top of these hard drums like a mad horse. So very crazy, very aggressive, loving it. Then we have the final track, which is called Apavtsa Tea Mania, or Unrelenting Divine Mania, and it's just 6 minutes 43 seconds of plucky lutes, and it's a really interesting way to end off the album, but I can't help but think that it's an odd placement. Like, it would have been way better if this track serves as an interlude or an intermission of sorts. And at the very end, the guitars slowly fade back in and it becomes an aggressive metal explosion again. But again, I just wish this is in the middle of the track list, you know. Overall, this is a fantastic album. The creative instrumental palettes, the aggressive playing, the ancient Greek vibes, it's awesome. And some of you may say cultural appropriation. I disagree. I think this cultural appreciation is what this is. One gripe I have with this album is that it is a little too long. The album overall is 52 and a half minutes long, and a bulk of this is just aggressive, unrelenting rage. And that's cool and all, but I feel like this album would have been way better of a listen if it was shorter. If it was like 30 something minutes long, it would have been a banger of an album. But still, I'm really impressed with this album. It's awesome, and I'm giving this one a decent 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to this new album? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.